Hey guys, Sean from the King Sports Store. Real quick thing before we get into this, these products are not for sale to minors. So today is going to be a really cool one. I actually have this device so I can better show you how this device works. But today we're going to be talking about the Innokin Z-Biip kit. So the Z-Biip kit was made by Phil and Broussard. No, that's not right. Phil and Demi, there we go. They are big advocates in the vape industry, have been around for a really long time, and really likes to cater things to smokers and dual users to give them the more authentic cigarette type feel to better switch your habit over. So with this kit, you're gonna get a couple of things. You get little warnings and safety sheets. You get an instruction manual, which I really like. It's really broken down by detail. You get this little code kind of, explaining why they created it, and then a QR code in the back. So you can actually scan this and it'll take you to videos and stuff to help you with the device. You'll get 2 coils for it. You get a 1.6 ohm coil, which is more of that mouth to lung feel. And then you get a 0.48 coil, which is gonna burn a little bit hotter, produce a little bit more vapor. You get a little extra O-ring, which I'll show you where that goes. The USB charge cord, which you do want to use, and then this little bottle to fill with, but as long as you've got just like any needle tip bottle, it's pretty easy. So with this, the pod itself is going to hold 2 mils of liquid, and the battery is going to be a 1500 milliamp per hour. So it's got a really great battery life on it. So on it, the mouthpiece is more rounded to 1, feel more like a cigarette, and 2, so it's more comfortable to put in your mouth without even thinking about it. You've got a little light right here, which kind of shows you your powers, which we'll go over that here more in a minute. These little 3 dots right here, which lets you know how charged your device is. Your fire button's actually a grip, so you just grip this little guy to fire. You've got your USB charge port right here, and an on and off switch for the beeps, which we'll go over that more here in a minute. So with this guy, it does kind of give you a warning as it's dying. When it's 3 dots, it means that it's completely charged. 2 dots is halfway. 1 dot means that it's about time to charge it. So when you're charging it, it'll load up. But what's really cool, and the reason why they call this a beep, it actually makes audible sounds. So when it's charging, it'll load, and when it's completely charged, it's gonna beep at you 5 times to let you know that it's ready to go. So on this, to turn it off and on, what you'll do, 3 clicks will turn it off, and 3 clicks will turn it on. Now once you have it off, you can hold this button down, and this is going to change colors. So the colors are actually going to correspond with the wattage output that it has. So blue is going to be 11 watts, green is going to be 14 watts, and red is going to be 16 watts. I prefer mine on a 1.6 coil on the green setting. Once you turn it on, means that it is on the appropriate setting. Now with this, the way that you're going to get to your coil, you're going to take and you're going to push the top of this and it's going to pop loose, and you've got this little guy right here. So you do have adjustable airflow. It has 3 holes. My personal preference is I like it closed down to about 1/2 of 1 hole, but you'll kind of twist and play that to find your preference. Now to get to the coil, you'll unscrew this airflow ring, and then you just pull this little coil out. I like this design. It keeps you from getting juice all over your hands whenever you replace the coil. Now, coil will last about 10 to 14 days depending on use. When it's time to replace, it'll either start to leak or taste burnt or not really produce vapor. All right, so when it's a new coil, you do want to prime it up. It has a lot of cotton in there, and if it's not really well saturated before you use it, you're just going to burn dry cotton. It's going to taste awful and it's going to ruin it. So what I like to do is I like to take and just put a bunch of liquid here and then get these sides a few times until they kind of stop soaking it up. Now before I put this coil in, it's kind of hard to see, but there's this little black O-ring right in here that helps seal up your coil. That's what that extra black gasket is. Now, whenever you go to put your coil in, it kind of fits like a puzzle piece. So you see if I do it this way, there's a slight gap, but if you spin it, it will kind of sit down flush, which means that your coil is properly installed. So this is when you would go ahead and screw your airflow ring back on, get your airflow set to where you like it. And when you pop your pod in, if you listen, it beeps once. That lets you know that it has read your coil properly. That way it'll be ready to use. Now this top part is going to hold 2 mils of liquid, and it's pretty easy to fill. You just kind of lift up a little bit and swivel, and you fill down this little silicone part right here. So when you stick the tip of the bottle in, it's going to open it up, and I just tilt it off to the side and squeeze. When it's completely full, you just swivel this back. It means that it's closed and ready to go. Now the audible sounds that it makes, 1 beep means that it's read your coil and it's going to work properly. 2 beeps mean that your battery is about halfway charged. 3 beeps means that it's about 20%, so it's about charge time, and then the 5 clicks let you know that it's completely charged. Other than that, it's a pretty cool little device that performs pretty well. All right, guys, come by and check them out. Bye.